What's up, beautiful people? Today I'm gonna talk about something very serious because it's very serious. So, I have bipolar disorder. Disclosure, I have bipolar disorder. Disclosure, I went through traumatic events as a child. But
everything in this video was used for strictly educational purposes, and I'm using this content and giving credit to the content, obviously. So if you could just surpass all of this content that I'm using, credit to Google and everybody that took the pictures, I'm giving specific credit, and it's used for educational purposes. Thank you. That was my disclosure. Thanks. Federal warning.
I've been doing some research lately. Yeah, let's call it research. And I do believe that I was possessed as a child. Or there were demons around me as a child, poking and playing at me, showing me things I shouldn't be seeing. I was constantly afraid, and my mother always reassured me it was just anxiety. But I don't know, because I have similar anxious feelings today, very rarely, and it's not as intense. I don't see things. And I don't want to say I saw things because people would label me as schizophrenic. But it was just very overwhelming. And I was around 8 years old, 7 years old, 6 years old. And I always had to go to my parents' bedroom. I would always wake up or I couldn't sleep. And the nights would just be devastating. I hated going to sleep because I just couldn't. My anxiety was so horrible. I was so scared constantly. And I never really understood why. I do remember a dream I had. Along with my research, I learned that a lot of people are greeted by the devil in their dreams. Do I think this happened to me? Yes. Why? Because the dream I'm going to describe to you is a dream I had when I was probably 7 years old. The dream took place at my elementary school. It was completely empty. It was in the cafeteria. We waited there while our rides were going to pick us up. We had numbers. Mine was 410. And I was waiting there, and Megan Fox was
if they do show up in an apparition in the dream state, and they come to you and they look like someone of a departed loved one or an angel, and they say they're an angel, it's very important to pay attention to their vibration based on the consistency of how they appear to you. And this is very important because this is how a lot of people get deceived. And even though I like to stay away from the outside features actually can play a very big role. Even for the slightest little sign of something weird can be a sign of deceiving.
Megan Fox.
And it's up to you to be able to make mental notes to yourself.
And she was looking at me very
to pay attention to those things. So when your gut says, okay, there's
evil-like, and there was a huge aura and sense
appearing to me as my grandfather, but he smells funny. And if this smell is not familiar to you, like it doesn't smell like his cologne or anything you're familiar with, and it smells like rotten meat, but he's telling you he's your grandpa, and then he starts looking a little different, like morphing or changing, but he can't stay consistent in his appearance, then it's a deceptive entity. This is something to be very weary about.
And there was a sense of don't listen to your parents. There was a sense of they're wrong. There was a sense of just obey me. And I was so scared in my dream. I've always had this external self in my dream where I can think while I'm in my dreams. In my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to say yes to her, but God knows that I'm not truly saying yes to her. I was going to play along is what was happening in my dream, that I was just going to play along. And so I agreed to the deal she was trying to make with me. And as a child, I hated church. I think, and my mom tells me it's just because I would get bored and I didn't want to be away from her and I was lonely or something. But there were times where I loved church. It was just something overcame me where it was like, don't go. And I would throw literal tantrums about having to go and wouldn't want to go. And I'd have demonic nightmares constantly until I was 13.
I like to tell people about these things because there are spirits that try to appear as a false loved one.
So that's it for my spooky video. I genuinely think that something took over me as a kid. No lie. And I think that there are things occurring today. Conspiracies that have you in your head doing things subconsciously, like arguments with your family, and you don't know why. Or you're angry and you don't know why. Because brainwash is real, and it's all satanic, and it all has to do with demons. And yeah.
Start a call, I'm so adult, that's my style. Foreign French, Italian, I'm living on the edge, that's my style.
And yeah, Megan Fox visited me in my dream when I was 6. I also went to one of those parties, now that I think about it. I went to one of those like celebrity parties that I didn't know existed. I went to one of those in a dream when I was like probably 8. I was 6 to 8 years old was the time frame. And people were wearing masks and I didn't understand why. And I thought it was just a masquerade. But if you do research on that, it's not just a masquerade. Lady Gaga was there. Justin Bieber was there, but I know that he's trying to be with Jesus now, so that's good. And there was just a lot of other celebrities there at this ball gown type place. It was like a ball. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'm gonna make a lot of content, all different kinds, reviews of products, reactions to videos, makeup shit, stuff, kid-friendly, not kid-friendly, art videos, talking videos, story time, tea time, try on clothes time, you know, all of it.